Good morning. Today I'm going to touch on a feature in the editor called Levels. He's the brother of Curves. Curves is his sister for a reason I don't have to explain. Anyway, this is one of the images I'll use to illustrate what Curves does. And here we go. I'm going to double click in the center of the image to put us into the editor, and there's our tiger. Histogram in the upper right looks pretty good, as most histograms don't look this good. Okay, so in my opinion, the tiger's great, except he just looks a little bit flat. I mean, he just needs a touch of pep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this number, 255, which is white. 0 is black, 255 is white, and everything in between are the various shades of brightness between black and white. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change this 255 white to 242. Okay, effectively that moved this slider over. I could have done it manually, right? I could have just said 242, but I'm not that good with the mouse to be able to do that. Okay, 242. Now what I've said is, okay, you guys, what used to be 255, the brightest, from now on 242 is the brightest. So that means all these pixels got brighter. The 242 looks like 255. Okay, you getting the idea? Okay, and now I'm going to go to this other slider. That's the shadow slider. And I'm going to move that up to 26. Now, that means, in effect, the same thing as the other one did, that this is the new black. 26 is the new black. So anything from 26 up will be darkened, okay? And therefore, we now get a little more contrast. So let's see what we've got. We're going to click on this hold down button to see the difference before and after. And you can see we made some improvements. So I'm going to pop that over to the big picture, and I think he looks scarier now. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next image. Okay, I'm just saving the filter we just made. Now, here's a shot of the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. Okay, it runs from St. Petersburg, Florida to, I think, Palmetto, Florida. But at any rate, it's an early morning, misty, sun isn't pushing through yet shot. That's, for all intents and purposes, would normally be a throwaway. But this is a JPEG, and we're going to see what we can do with it in levels. Okay, now there's our histogram. This is what they call the flat part, and this is the mountain. Now, years ago, you weren't supposed to print a picture unless it was 360 dots per inch, or the picture wouldn't come out good. Well, that's not true when you know that. So what do we have now? We have a slider that I can move onto the mountain if I want to, and I don't lose very much, okay? But I'm going to move this on to about 188 is where I found to be probably the best spot. Okay, 188. I'm not such a good mouser. Okay, now that means that 188 is now the new white, okay? And it made all those pixels brighter. So now we're going to go to the bottom part, the shadow part, and we're going to make this a 24. 25 doesn't make a difference. Okay, and what we've done is we said, okay, 25 is the new 0 black. So all you guys will get a little bit darker. Well, that's okay. I mean, it's better, but it really isn't that great. I mean, there we are. What about all these pixels that are in the middle, the 125's brightness and the 120 brightness and the 90 brightness? Well, they need a little help too. Well, that's what we have the mid-range slider for, okay? That affects the middle of the spectrum of brightness. And we're going to bring that down to 0.67 because I tried it already. I cheated, okay? 66, thank goodness. Well, that seemed to improve it quite a bit. Let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, now what I want to show you here is this. We're going to pick up this part of the picture and I'm going to magnify it. It's 1/4 size now. I'm going to make it a half, so half magnification. And if you look carefully, you can see the white line separating the lanes in the highway. Okay, I can. Okay, maybe you won't see it on the YouTube part, but it's there. Okay, and look at the cars. They're well defined and everything like that. And look at them like that. Couldn't see anything. Now, there is a compromise involved here, okay? And that compromise is you got to lose something. Well, what we're losing is these blacks were much lighter before. Here, let me show you. See, that's what it was before. Now, if you had something important in here, you wouldn't be able to pull a black shadow slider that much, or you'd block it out like we did. But in my opinion, there's not very much important here that I want to keep. So we're going to keep it like that. Now I'm going to apply it to the big picture. And I think we've got a pretty presentable image where we had really something worthless before. Okay, I think you've got a little insight into what Levels does. And I think we can probably cut it off here and let you absorb what we have accomplished so far. Thank you for listening.